For this exercise, we have 2x plus 5y less than or equal to negative 10 and y greater than or equal to 1. And we are going to graph the inequality. I guess we'll graph the system of inequalities, which will give us a shaded region, which will be our final answer. Okay, so each one of these inequalities here makes a line. So let's do it. If we were to just write this as, we'll treat this almost like an equal sign. And we're going to get this into y equals mx plus b form, because then we can graph it. Remember that when you have this form, m is your slope, and b is your y-intercept. Okay, so if we can get it to y equals mx plus b form, we can graph it. All right, so let's solve this thing out. We're solving for y, so I'm going to just write it as an equal sign here, so I'm not confused by the inequality. So I'm going to say equals negative 10. Okay, and then we solve for y. That'll get it into y equals mx plus b form. So we have 5y. I'm subtracting 2x from both sides, so equals negative 2x minus 10. And then we divide both sides by 5. We get y equals negative 2/5 x minus 2. Right? So this is progress. Here's our slope. The slope is negative 2/5. So I'm going to write this as negative 2 over 5. You could have put the negative down with the 5. It would have given you the same line. Okay, there's only one line happening here. So this is going to be, let's see, negative 2. Remember, slope is rise over run. So negative 2 tells us we're going down 2. That's our rise. Down 2. And since 5 is positive, it'll be to the right 5. Okay, if we put this negative down with the 5, it would be up 2 and left 5. If we graph that point, it would still give us the same line. Right? These are the same. No matter how you look at the slope, it's the same line. And then, of course, here's our y-intercept. Y equals negative 2. So let's start with that. Y equals negative 2 is right here. And then from there, I'm going down 2. So that gets us down to negative 4. And 5 to the right, that kicks us out over to 5 here. This is a solid line because of the equal sign here in the inequality. If that equals wasn't there, it would be dashed. So we just connect these 2 points like so. There we go. Now, if we would have kept the inequality in there, right, I changed it to an equal just to make things look a little nicer, but if I would have solved it with the inequality in there instead of switching to equal, we would have had this, y less than or equal to negative 2/5 x minus 2. And less than always means shade down. Shade down. Okay, so that works as long as you're in y equals mx plus b form. It does not necessarily work if you're not in this form, so make sure you're in y equals mx plus b form before you make this assumption about shading. All right, and here we go. We're shading down. Let's check out this other region here, or I guess this other term. So we have y greater than or equal to 1. Let's change that to equals. This is a line. What kind of line? It's a horizontal line. Horizontal line. Right? Anytime you have y equals some number, it is a horizontal line through that number. It's going to be solid again because of this equal sign here. That tells us we're solid. And this also told us we're solid. Okay, so let's do that. We have a horizontal line through 1. Oops. And it's greater than. So since it's greater than, we shade up. Again, this works because we're technically in y equals mx plus b form. Yes, y equals 1 is indeed in y equals mx plus b form. The slope is just 0. Okay, so now we're shading up from there. The answer is where the shaded regions overlap. But it's kind of hard to see, right? Because we have the red stuff going up here, we have the blue stuff going down. But note the red stuff continues going up here and the blue stuff continues going down here. So the region where those two shadings overlap is right here in this little area off to the side. So that's kind of a strange one, right? But this would keep going and going forever. So it's an infinite area, but it just goes off the page a little bit. But that's the region you shade. Make it very clear in your answer which region you're shading. Mine is the black region, but still, I may want to erase all this other stuff to make it very clear that only this one region is shaded as the final answer.